Hello, everyone, and welcome to Director's Cut Senior Edition. I'm Spencer Fowler.
And I'm Mike Grosso, and today we're going to have on some seniors from the graduating class of 2020 to talk about their senior film projects. We're going to have an alumni, Brian Tracey, and we are going to have a professor of one such class, the senior film class, George Nicholas. How have you been, Spencer?
I've been good. The semester is coming to a close, filming my 47 film, just kind of getting those finals started. How about yourself?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of typing. And I actually finally came into some technology that I can cut together my film on. So I've been working on that pretty much day in, day out. And yeah, I'm happy to say that at least things are productive right now,
Yeah.
I feel like... Go ahead.
And you're a senior yourself, so, you'll kind of have an insider scoop, I guess you could say, while we're talking with everyone else. So how's your own experience been?
Yeah. So I definitely have heard many a story and seen a lot going on. So I kind of have some questions already ready. But I mean, things have been as you'd expect them to be. For a while, a lot was on halt. But now, as things progress and we're figuring out ways to handle new problems, we're overcoming those hurdles. So, I'm getting my editing done. I'm doing something, which is great. Yeah.
And you were able to get your principal photography completed, correct?
Yes. I definitely want to go and try to get some pickups, try to pick some things here and there, maybe change a line around. But, I've spoken to my actors, and we all want to get together again after the fact. So that's exciting. I'm very happy to have a lot of people who are also passionate about the project. So, and I can say the same for a lot of senior sets that I've been on. I've seen a lot of people who are very much willing to, step up after all this is over and help out people, which is great. It's very exciting to see people who are, passionate about not only their own project, but other people's projects as well. So yeah, that's great to see.
Definitely. And let's get our first guest in here, George Nicholas.
Yes. Hello from wherever I am.
Hello.
And my screen.
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, and my screen locked up. Hold on. Hey, how's it going?
Look, going good.
Oh.
How are you, George?
Switched computers because I'm sick of the other one. I'm doing well. I've seen both of you this week, and I'm happy to see you guys again here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. So, what's it called? How have you been keeping up with teaching and everything online? I'm sure that was a big change.
I guess the unfortunate thing about this semester was, if you've taken my classes, we had just reached the point in the semester here. Give myself some light. We had just reached the point in the semester where, the lecture part was over, and it was like, okay, go out and do stuff, and then come back and we'll watch it. And then the pandemic struck. So it's been challenging. It's been challenging. Yeah, I guess the easiest way to describe it. The cool thing is that people are still doing good work, and we've managed in my intermediate class to do a lot more pre-production than students get to do during the semester. So they're really getting to pre-visualize their films before they eventually, when we're back, get to shoot them. The seniors, a lot of them had completed principal photography. The films are really amazing. So it's good to see them, coming into shape, and all of the faculty, myself and Professor Jennings, in our chair, and the dean have been very supportive about making sure that when it's safe to come back and interact with each other and be on campus, that the students that didn't get to shoot their thesis films will be accommodated. So that was a very important thing for us to, just really get a handle on making sure that was going to happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that was a very difficult hurdle to jump as well, going through all of the bureaucracy in order to get all of the filming stuff done in the future. But we're so grateful that you have done that. So grateful, considering all of the work that people have already put into it. And, it's just good to see people like you fighting for your students. It's just really like, yeah, it's great. It's great. We're really happy to have you.
People forget that sometimes, but that's why we're here. We're here for you guys. You know, there'd be no universities without the students. There'd be no schools without the students. So, you know, I think myself and my colleagues strive very hard to in the 4 years that we have you, you know, in our classes and in our lives. Although I think that, you know, and I've just been giving that speech to my classes lately, and I just want them to know that the relationship doesn't end when they graduate. You know, I still work with students, and people will send me cuts of films and stuff. So it becomes this sort of like lifelong friendship, lifelong relationship. And you know, I'm just on one hand relieved that I'm not, you know, in the building until 6 o'clock in the morning this week with my cinematography class doing their final. But that's another thing that, you know, that we're going to sort out when we can get back in, is being able to do that assignment, because, you know, everything sort of builds, you know, and I try to just say, you know, look, be patient at the beginning of the semester, because there is a lot of information and there's a lot of stuff to learn. But, you know, the big payoff is being in that room that night, and it's such a bonding experience. And the work just keeps getting better and better and better. I don't, you know, every year I think, okay, well, it's got to level off, but, you know, it just keeps getting, unless they get a time machine and go back in time to actually get the people in the paintings. I don't know how they make it better, but they do, you know, and I really want them to have that experience. It's such a rich part of the experience of studying film at Hofstra. So, you know, when there's time, I'll come in on a Saturday, whatever I have to do on my part to come in and make sure that we get to do that, we'll do that.
Mm-hmm. And how has your curriculum changed as you've moved online for classes such as is it lighting and cinematography?
So lighting and cinema, I mean, I think what's happened with the production classes, right, is that you know, during the course, I mean, the honest truth is, during the course of a semester, you never really have enough time as a filmmaker. You know, you never really have enough time to realize your work. You know, I've made 2 short films in the past couple of years that you know, are about the same time running time as like a senior film, 12-minute films. You know, each of those, I mean, granted, I was teaching full time, so overload and being a father and all that other stuff. But, you know, each of those films, to realize them completely, took a year. You know, so so I think that the advantage of this semester is that the students really do have time to put in the pre-production. They really do have time to pre-visualize. And even in the cinematography class, I had them, you know, I broke them into their groups. They selected the paintings. I had them analyze the paintings and really plan on how they were going to light them on paper. You know, gave them all the photometric data of all the lights that we own, and the formats we'd be shooting, and the ISOs and everything, so that they could have a solid plan coming in. We usually do that the week before the final shoot. We usually, you know, go in and sort of block the lighting in, so they're not like trying to reinvent the wheel on the day. But this allows them to sort of think of it in a different way. So in that sense, it's a blessing, as much of a bummer as all of it is. It is giving everyone the time to really think about their shots, to really think about, do I need this scene? It's so much cheaper to decide to ditch a scene or a shot before you pick a camera up, before you get people on set, you know, before you start putting money and time into it. So that's a bit of a breather for them. So I think that's been a positive. And as much as I'm sick of the Zoom format, I think everybody is. It's not, you know, it's not just me. It's everybody. I have to say that in 2 weeks, as much as I'm going to enjoy not having to log on and look at myself basically in a computer screen and wonder what's going on with my lighting or whatever, I'm going to miss everybody, you know. And it's just been really good to see everyone and still have that sense of community. So that's been a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. Just missing everybody, especially senior year, is such a bummer. You know, I love hanging out with everybody. But going off track just a little bit to answer one of the questions below, Justin Moore asks, do you have any advice for creating films at home with limited equipment?
Sure. You know, the funny thing about filmmaking is that, you know, it's very easy early on to get sort of seduced by the technology. You know, well, I can't shoot. And I was like this when I was in school, so it's not, you know, it's like everybody does it. It's like, well, I can't shoot my film if I don't have access to, you know, an Arial X, or I can't shoot my film if I don't have access to lights and stuff. But all of the concepts of filmmaking, you know, can be scaled So no matter what you're shooting on, if you're shooting on your phone or you're shooting, on a still camera or and whatever, you're always, and I press this in my cinematography class, you're always thinking about light, you're always thinking about the frame. So everyone has, we all carry cameras with us all the time now. You can shoot pretty decent quality video. Sure, you don't have the control that you might have with a professional camera, but you do have the ability, to sort of choose where you want to focus by touching the screen, and choose where you want to, where you want to expose by touching the screen and stuff like that. So you work within the limitations. I mean, in any film, you're working within the limitations of the budget and the tools that you have. So obviously you're not going to shoot a big sweeping, Western or something, but it is the time to sort of think small, work macro. I've been walking around my town for the past, 2 months, basically, with a still camera and just sort of like noticing things and like taking photographs of things that I notice around town, in a different way, looking at them in a different way, because I have the time to do that now. I'm not rushing around to go pick up food so I can get in my car and come out and teach classes at Hofstra, or go off on a film set or something. So it does give you that sort of breathing room to take in the world around you and maybe look at it in a different way through a camera. And you can do that with any camera that you have available to you. And then you can edit it together. There's a lot of software. I mean, our students are able to get their software, so they have that going for them. So, it allows you to sort of look at filmmaking in a different way. And I think that's good for the initial push after the sort of the clampdown. I don't call it the clampdown, it seems political, but after the shutdown ends and production starts ramping up, it's not going to be the way it used to be. And I don't know if eventually maybe it'll go back to the way it used to be, but I'm already hearing things about how they're scaling down the sizes of the production, they're scaling down the sizes of the crews, so that learning all of those skills is much more important then, because you're going to be doing work that you might have given off to a crew member or something, and that's work that you're going to have to do yourself. So it's more important now than ever to know sort of all of the different parts of the craft and practice them. There's no reason to not make films all the time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that sentiment. Thank you. Thank you so much for your insight, George. We really appreciate it. We appreciate all that you've done for us here at Hofstra. We appreciate all that you've done beyond that. And it's just been great to have you. Thank you so much.
My 16th year, and I was going to stay for 2, and I stayed for the students. So unless you guys start getting really lame, I'm going to stay there until they don't want me there anymore. So keep not being lame. Keep making films. And thanks for having me on. Go eat some pizza now.
All right. Gotcha.
Thank you. It was great to see you.
Great.
All right.
And up next, we have Brian coming back again. He couldn't get enough of us, I guess.
Brian Tracey. What's going on, dude? How have you been?
I've been all right. Handling this as best as anyone can. Trying to.
George is in our chat yelling, Brian! He's cheering you on, man.
A really, really, really good inspiration to me, and he helped me a lot throughout my entire Hofstra experience. And I don't think I would have be where I am right now without him. So that means a lot that he's already excited.
Yeah.
A little bit. Maybe we'll talk tomorrow or something.
Yeah. Sorry. We just got a question from Justin Moore for you. What is the biggest filmmaking gimmick you've ever seen? Do you feel any certain way about that?
I don't actually really understand the question, I guess. Can you someone give me an example, and then
I'm not totally sure. But I was hoping that you might run with it.
I don't mean to shut you down. I know what it's like to be in
No. Yeah. I know.
So Brian, as an alumni of Hofstra, what are you doing now? And especially, what are you doing right now during quarantine?
Well, so the quarantine actually happened to strike probably at the worst possible time for me and my filmmaking career at this point. I was actually really starting to pick up a lot of momentum and get some traction in the industry. In March, I was on a show called Kingsbury Class, and so that got canceled because of the coronavirus. And then after that, in the beginning of May, I was supposed to be in the art department on a FX TV show. And so with both of those being canceled and the film industry kind of up in the air at this point, it's been a little tricky, but I've sort of taken this time to like sort of study, I guess, a little bit more, like kind of study my craft. I watch a lot of movies. All my friends know that I try and watch a movie a day, and I'll really analyze the movie, and I'll try and take in the art direction of the movie. It's just a lot of stuff I haven't seen. It's a lot of classics that I've never really had the time to sit down and watch, like that 3-hour epic. But now I do. So I'm doing a lot of that. Working on my senior thesis film still plugging away at that. That's almost done, so that's pretty exciting. I'm trying to keep myself busy.
Good. That's great to hear. Brendan asks, how does it feel to not be hosting a show but still be on it?
It feels good. I kind of like it. It's less work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember being like back like in between breaks and packages and being like, oh crap, what questions am I gonna ask? And I'm like writing notes, taking notes and trying to remember things. But I don't know. I've watched a couple episodes and I've heard a couple episodes and I've heard you guys are doing a great, if not better, job than me. But it's exciting to be back. I love my Director's Cut family, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Well, we're happy to have you. So
definitely.
So what films have you been watching? Oh, sorry.
Most recently, I watched Blade Runner for the first time, and I thought that was pretty cool. So, I was into that. I've been catching up on my sports movies because I'm a sucker for sports movies. I can't get enough of them. I don't care how bad they are. A lot of them are bad. It's so good. I still love them. I'm a big fan of the Creed movies. I watched both Creed movies yesterday because I think the cinematography in it is amazing.
It's gorgeous.
Top notch. Would recommend it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so you said that you were still editing your senior film. So how has that process been? How long have you been working on it?
Working on it, like really working on it, it's probably been like a couple months now. I took a pretty big hiatus from it after I graduated because I was pursuing other things. I was working a lot. But now that I have the time to do it, I've really sat down and really started to work on it, like really touching up on the color, really touching up on the sound design, kind of doing a whole pass of color and sound. And we're really, really close to being done, and we're really, really close to sending it to festivals, which is very exciting. It already did like a brief little stint on the festival circuit where it was more of like a test run for Down and Away. So I sent it to like 3 places, and we got into all 3. So that was pretty exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's great.
Sort of starting to like gauge where we think it could end up in like festival tier wise. So yeah, I don't know. It's been pretty good. So I think we're excited to go for like a really big push and send it to a bunch, and hopefully good stuff happens.
That's super exciting. That's great to hear that you're already sending it into festivals and everything. I'm definitely excited for that post-graduation when my film's all together. Donovan says your senior film was a home run in my eyes.
Donovan is always a home run. Every time.
Always.
Swinging a miss there. Another big one. He still got it.
No, that's great. Yeah, but we're super excited. We're really happy that we were able to get you today.
Yeah,
so
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So in terms of getting work and stuff after college, how did you sort of pursue that? Was it like LinkedIn? Did you know somebody? Did you just like send out a billion applications and then one got back to you, or like this is it?
I did a lot of cold emailing. just sending my resume out to a bunch of random places, being like, hey, this is what I can do. This is what I've done. I'd love to do anything. I'd love to come on and learn. I'd love to do that. And eventually, one of them stuck. And so in September, I worked on my first feature film in the art department. And so I was working on that film in Massachusetts for about a month and a half. And so since then, how at least my experience, how it works is like you get that first job and you've gone to Hofstra, you've worked on films at Hofstra, you know what it's like. You get there, you do a really, really great job. Everyone really likes you. And then in like a week, I get a call that's like, hey, it's me from that job you just worked. I need help with this. And that's just kind of how it goes. And then you go on that one and you do the same thing and you meet more people. And you just keep growing and growing your network. I didn't really, when I was studying, I didn't really understand that it was like, it really is all who you know. You really got to focus on the connections you make, and you really got to focus on the people you interact with and how you interact with everybody, because they will at some point help you progress later if you did a good job and you get along with them really well. So.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Brian. Thank you so much for that insight. Definitely going to use that after college. Definitely going to be sending a lot of emails real soon. And we hope that you're well. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. It's been fun.
All right. And next we have Jared and Michaela going on.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Good to see you guys. It's been a schminute since senior.
Yeah, something like that. Spencer, I love you, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Very, very cabin fever.
Yeah, it is very cabin fever. What a great segue. So let's talk about your senior films, you know?
So what's it called? Jared, it's my understanding that you have almost a full cut now.
Yeah, pretty much. We're almost at a picture lock, so we're trying to get to some festivals in June. So
wow, that's awesome.
On the final grind, yeah. Almost there.
Yeah. We've got some pictures coming up as well. That's really exciting to see. Just everything about it is like so striking and so exciting. So I can't wait to see what the picture lock version is. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah. And Michaela, you had some beautiful production work that we got to see before the stream. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So unfortunately, I did not get to shoot my senior because we got the announcement about 2 weeks after for COVID. But we did do a lot of pre-production, and that's where the photos came in. I worked in a lot with my production designer, Lauren Tepper, on basically taking the locations that we had and making them fit into the story. So we did concept sketches, we thought about colors. This one right now is a bar scene that we had called The Shrunken Head. And we also worked on logos and just different designs that really fit the theme that we were trying to go for and the moods that we were trying to evoke.
That's amazing. And so what are your plans now that you have all this pre-production? Do you have any, thoughts for the future, when you're going to be filming, any tentative dates,
Yeah, well, it's really tough, because honestly, I don't think the government even really knows when we're going to open up. So, but honestly, I'd love to shoot if I could in the fall. That's the kind of feelings that I felt was evoked, like a cooler weather tone. I see everyone in jackets, so I think if anything, when this is all over, we'll be able to pick it up back in the fall when we're stronger and we've kind of recovered from all of this like craziness that's kind of going on right now.
Yeah, of course. So could you actually tell us a little bit about your film, Michaela? Like, plot-wise?
Yeah, sure. It's a quick summary. Yeah, no problem. So it is It's actually a very personal story for me, and it's loosely based off of my own family. But it's about 3 generations of women who come together, basically, and that's my family. But it's 3 generations of women that kind of bond together after a loss in their family, and kind of understanding grief and coming together during a time of grief, when it's difficult to kind of let your emotions come out. Yeah, it's very cultural, very generational.
It sounds like very close to you, which is beautiful to see you exploring that through film. I remember like reading your script in class and just being moved by it. It was really special. So I'm very excited to see that in film format. And I also understand that you got a bird as well for the film.
Oh, I do. I put him downstairs because he was being a little chatty. But his name is Ari. And we did adopt a live dove on February 14th. So yeah, but now he's our
Hey, Ray.
now he's our pet for now. But that'll give us more time to actually train him, which will be kind of a helpful thing for us, I guess.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
And so, Jared, you were able to shoot. So, would you like to give a little bit of a synopsis for the audience?
Oh, geez. You think after this long, I'd have a pretty good one set, but I mean, essentially, it's just this older gentleman who's kind of isolated himself in a distant cabin in the woods, and he's kind of haunted by some memories, and he runs into a familiar face that he has to spend some time to try and understand who it is. So it's kind of psychological, pretty slow pace, but it's kind of a slow burn, as Professor Jennings says. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with it though. I'm excited to see where the sound design and color are going to go.
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit of the footage. I've seen some cuts, and it's looked fantastic so far. How has your senior class kind of evolved and changed over this time?
To be honest, I haven't been going much, so I don't know how well I can answer that question. Yeah, so I don't know. Michaela, can you attest to that?
I technically took
independent.
the independent studies, so I'm not in those.
Yeah.
From the
I'm
few
not your alibi.
Yeah, I mean, from the few classes I have been to, everybody's kind of like on their own schedule, like still figuring out their own work, their own projects. So everybody's kind of going at their own pace.
Oh, Trevor.
Trevor. Yeah, that's nice.
We all love Trevor.
Yeah, that's one thing that we can collectively bond over during this period of total isolation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, that being said, we've seen some amazing stuff from your films. Oh, sorry. I've got someone coming in to help me with the lights because I'm losing daylight over here. But yeah, oh, wow. Sorry about that.
They should have called striking.
Yeah, honestly, you could have called striking. Nice. All right. Anyways,
Striking.
So that being said, we've seen some amazing work from you guys. Do you guys have any final thoughts in terms of how you're going to be approaching your films next? I guess I'll ask Michaela first and then Jared.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, now that I have this time, it's going to let me go back into the story a little bit. So I can see elements changing, especially because of what we've just had to deal with being apart from our families and everything, and kind of worrying about our families being safe during this. So I feel like that could really impact my story a lot and kind of change the emotions that go into it as well. So, we learn from the bad and the good and make art through it.
Mm-hmm. All right, great. And Jared, any final thoughts from you?
I mean, in terms of the film, I'm just excited to see what happens with festivals and like the future of the cuts, and to also see when the Hofstra Festival is. I know everybody's kind of wondering that right now. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Cool, great. Well, it's been fantastic to have you guys. We are super excited to see what comes of your films next, and hope to see you soon. All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good seeing you too. All right. It always is great to see him.
Yeah, honestly, it is. I mean, we don't get to see them on campus anymore, so
Yeah. All right. Next up,
it's
we
great
have.
to have this moment.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my internet's a little choppy. All right. Next up, we have Karim. Karim The Dream.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys been?
What's going on? I've been good. How are you?
Good, man. Long time no see. I miss all you guys. Seeing everybody, seeing George, Nerese, Matt. It makes me upset because I can't see any of y'all.
You were just backstage, correct? So were you watching the show? Are you able to chat with people back there?
We've been typing in the private chat a little bit. I know I had to fix my cam. My background's not the best. I wasn't prepared. I had class before this, but I'm here now.
What class was that?
That was actually half year with Katzman. He's been bringing in guests. He's been can't speak. I'm sorry. He's been helpful this whole time because we're pretty much doing nothing. We just started looking at the cameras during class, so there hasn't been anything we're doing. So he's been bringing guests. We tried to watch films in class, but ended up not working out. So Katzman is the man. Well, other than that, yeah, that's what we've been doing.
How has your production been going? I understand that you've been working. You were working with Kevin, Wendy on a couple of films. You were, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were a production designer, right?
No, I was not a production designer. February was like a big production week or month. Every weekend I was on someone's set. So Liz, I was an AD. For Anania's, I was PA. For Brian's and Anthony's, I was PAs, but I also helped because like that emotional help that we all need.
Absolutely, yeah. I was there for Anthony's. I was there.
Yeah, and you got everybody sick, but that's a different problem.
That's not the same sick we're talking about now. Just so everyone watching knows, but yeah.
It's all out of love. It's all a joke. It's just funny because he comes and sick, and then everybody else in this set gets sick. It was Brian, then Anthony. So it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
I remember this.
Listen, I did a hell of a job ACing, so I'd say it was worth it. But
I wish you could have said more. Anthony's set was really fun. I really enjoyed being on his set.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I love being on sets with you guys, joking around with you guys, and actually getting work done too. You guys are like both amazing to have on set. Literally the two of the best pairs of hands, like with anything. Period. Like I love being with you guys when we're working. Sorry, what was that?
I was saying I appreciate that. Yeah, it's easier when you're just around friends. Like Anthony, he's an easygoing guy, so you're never gonna see him yell at anybody.
Yeah, of course. But at the same time, he's like very good at like getting the shot he wants. He's like very good at like he's just great at working with people to like get the best possible product, and I respect the hell out of that. It's very impressive. Yeah. Sorry.
All right. So
something
Karim,
in the chat.
How has your senior year been going? This final semester. How is it?
It's pretty depressing, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, oh man, like all this work and I can't even graduate how I want to graduate like I imagined. I'm happy that I'm graduating because like I busted my ass for this. But other than that, like I was hoping my family would see me on the platform getting my diploma. But it is what it is. And I'm more depressed that I was not able to do my film. I was supposed to actually start filming 2 weeks ago. So that this kind of just hit me there. But I know whenever this is done, I'm going to go right into it. I already have it all set up. I talked to my producer. I talked to my DP. I make sure everything's good. Right when we're done, we're going to go right into it.
All right. So it's good to see that like you're planning already on like getting like back on board with filming and stuff. Even with that, I understand like this has been such a hurdle for everybody, and it is difficult. It is absolutely undeniably difficult, but it's good to see that you guys like care so much about this stuff,
Yeah. I do. I really do. Because, like, this script is really personal to me because it deals with suicide. And one of my close friends committed suicide a year ago. so I'm dedicating like the script to him. So it was like really, it was pretty close to me. And going on backstage and seeing a lot of actors, I'm like, yes, I want this guy right away. And of course, the studio where we do casting permanently shut down. So that's like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Shetler.
Whoa.
That was a great studio too. It was a great studio. It's very unfortunate. Now we're gonna have to find a new place, or we might just have to do video auditions. That might just be the new normal with this stuff.
What dreams hold for dreams? I mean, my dream is just keep writing my script. I'm just answering Justin's question, but just keep writing my script. I'm already working on my feature length. I posted on my YouTube the directing to the screen with Christine, and I was working on my 47, but then I got like trauma from George yelling at me, so I just stopped working on it for a little bit. So 47 was my past, so I was like, I'll leave it there. So
I'm sure that he meant well. George always
all out of love. I love George.
he always cares, you know. He always cares. It's all love, yeah.
If you don't get yelled at by George, then he doesn't care about you. That's
Oh no!
Yeah.
I'm in 47 right now, and I have yet to be yelled at. So
Oh, I'm sorry. He doesn't like you.
I think you're gonna get off. I think you're gonna get off easy considering the circumstances of the semester. Yeah.
you never know. So Karim, it already sounds like you're kind of looking to the future. So,
Trauma. Listen, I got off easy too. I don't think I got yelled at. So.
Work harder.
Yeah. Listen.
I mean, you learn a lot for 47. If you got to get that from.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the purpose of it. Is that it's a very, at least for me, it was a pivotal point in like learning film and like actually like getting a crew together, getting people together, like learning how to actually like do something professionally. You know, whereas in my 27, it was good, but it wasn't like a real like crew setup or anything yet. I didn't know how to do that yet. 47 sort of changed that.
27 was difficult for us too. We had the professor that wasn't that good, but 47 was a real test because we dealt with real actors, like you were saying. My bad for cutting you off. You can keep going.
No, you're great. Jared said getting yelled at by George is a blessing, and I couldn't agree more.
Exactly.
Karim, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you guys.
I hope to see you again real soon.
See you around, buddy.
Yeah, it was great having you on.
Whoa.
Wow. Mike, I thought you told me that the 47 you shot was just yourself and a camera.
No, I was the actor.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's get our next guest in here. It is Donovan and Dante.
Donovan Loew and Dante Nazzaro.
All right.
Hello.
Donovan, show them our gratitude.
Thank you for having us, fellas. We're happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. So, tell us, how have you guys been? How have you been adjusting to quarantine, Quentin Quarantino?
It's been pretty good. I'm still out here in Long Island by Hofstra, so take some nice leisurely walks in the empty campus, lots of flowers, millions of dollars spent on it for nobody, but it's beautiful.
All right, cool. Happy to hear that you're enjoying beauty. Dante, how have you been?
I've been surviving. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, I guess, this whole quarantine. So it's been exactly that.
Yeah. I mean, it's been that for everybody. I feel like everyone's getting like really, really productive out of necessity. But I mean, there are worse things that you could do, you know? So all right, let's go down the line here. Donovan.
Yes.
I understand that you got principal photography for your film done. Very excited to see it. Love the script. Absolutely hilarious. How are you doing with it? Could you give us a little synopsis?
That's correct, Michael. I mean, I thought you might ask for a synopsis, so I wrote my log line down since it's been a minute since I've read it out loud. So here's my log line. It goes, after a near-death experience, Rocky has an epiphany that he must marry an old flame. When his destiny doesn't match up with reality, he goes on a journey to make it so.
I like it. I like it a lot. Very concise, very to the point. Loving the images I see so far. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the dance, if I'm correct. George says that's hot.
What a
Yes,
crazy day.
It is a little hot. That's what it's meant to be. It's a dance scene, so there's disco lights. Yeah, well, it's leading up to the dance scene in the film.
Yeah.
And how did your
Sorry, Spence, go ahead.
Donovan, when did your production take place? Was it before everything really started to pick up, or was it right in the midst of it?
Yeah, it's interesting. So we originally were set to shoot in April, right, Dante?
Yeah,
And I think April.
we changed a lot.
Yeah, and we arbitrarily changed it to March 12th through 15th. And if you look at some graphs for New York, the corona rate just like skyrocketed the day after we finished shooting. And so it was pretty wild. It was almost like a race against the clock. And we got really lucky because we were supposed to shoot way later. So we just barely made that in principal photography. Still have to do some pickups, but really happy about it.
Yeah, that is great news, honestly. And Dante, how about your film? You were working on a senior. What's going on with that?
Well, it's kind of funny because I was producing Donovan's, and then his was the weekend before mine. It kind of just like fell on that weekend after we had changed it from April, and it was weird watching like both Donovan and I were just like watching everything like fall apart as we were like trying to get his film done, and then I was worrying about mine. But it's been good with mine. I've got in touch with my actors, and honestly, it's given me a chance to kind of like go more in depth with the characters with them, and give them more time, so that inevitably we can come back and get it all shot. And I'm shooting at my house, so luckily I didn't lose like that much money leading into the production because it was like right when everything was getting canceled.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely good news. And from what I remember, your film was very in depth, very, very Godfather-esque. If you could give us like a quick synopsis, that would be great. Super excited.
Yeah, I mean, so my film was essentially about it's the wedding day of the oldest brother in this Italian family, and the younger brother is struggling with basically like admitting that he married this girl that the parents like don't necessarily accept, and the whole thing is sort of leading up to this like reveal at the wedding where everything kind of like goes haywire. And yeah, that's the film.
That's super exciting. That's awesome. I'm definitely sorry. Josh, Timko, and George are at it in the they're at it in the Facebook chat. But what's it called? That's super exciting. I can't wait to see like when the production is able to like pick up and stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited. Everyone, even all my actors too, luckily, were like I called them and they're all like, whatever you shoot, we'll be ready. So that was cool.
Wow.
Yeah. That's always the best. I remember one of your actors I don't remember exactly what you said, but he was one of the older fellows. I think he plays the bad character. You were like super psyched about his casting. I remember you talking about that, and like that's so exciting for me because that was like before I even did my casting, and I was like, wow, this is like great because like now I'm excited to go in, see people, and like it was it's always such an exciting experience to get people on board, and it's even more like fulfilling to know that they're committed enough to the project to like keep going with it even after massive hurdles like this.
Yeah, it was really cool. Casting him and continuing to work with him up until we eventually shoot.
Yeah.
So a question for both of you: how has your mindset on your film changed over this time? I mean, Donovan, you've already shot, so I'm assuming you're editing right now. So how has your mindset towards the film changed, if it has at all?
Yeah, it's interesting because since we still have there's
couple pickups left. Yeah.
Since we have some pickups we need to shoot, it kind of gives me a chance to make an edit and kind of see in advance what I might need to get. Because normally we originally would have just shot it right after, and I wouldn't have had the chance to do that. So that's good, and yeah, I just feel like I have a lot of time now to like focus on it and meditate on how the film needs to look.
And Dante?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Can I clarify for Trevor? I dream in two stops. You should have known.
I think
Beautiful.
that's actually true. Donnie, could you expand on that?
Sorry.
Could you elaborate for us? What does that mean?
On the T-stop dreams?
Yeah, on the T-stop dreams.
Well, a nightmare is like a 22. It's very closed down, and, but depending on the situation, you might get a nice, really good depth of field. So perhaps it gives you more insight to what's actually happening in your subconscious. And then the nice, fluffy dreams, they're really shallow depth of field. They feel all nice and great, but they really don't do too much for your development as a human.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. It really makes a lot of sense.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah. And so Dante, my question kind of was, how has your mindset towards your script changed over this time that we've had, being socially distanced?
I feel like one thing a lot of people, like seniors, when they write their script, is it comes from like, some sort of like personal thing in their life or emotional thing. And I feel like this has given me a chance to kind of like objectively look at my script a little bit more and go over it and sort of be like, okay, what do I really want to say now? Or like, is there something I should be saying that I'm not? So I guess like that's changed a little bit. But other than that, I've just been actually workshopping a scene with one of my that's my brother in the other room, actually. Workshopping a scene with two of my actors. So I've given them the chance to kind of like help write the scene and see how it goes.
That's great. Now, before we let you guys go, Dante, we wanted to know if you had any goodbye statements for the E-Board, because you are a beloved member of Director's Cut as well, a celebrated member, one might say.
Oh, so last words? I guess I would say it's been an honor being a package producer. I remember when Matt and Sabrina approached me, Matt Vasquez and Sabrina Zapata approached me like sophomore year or junior. I forget when, but then it was just like, we want to make cool, skits to like put into the show. And it's kind of like grown as this whole thing where, we have like all this manpower, and I just like hope that kids down the line who at Hofstra who want to, make films and they don't really have an outlet to like just make films. It doesn't matter how good or bad. Like, I hope they see this as an opportunity, because that's what I saw it as.
All right. Well, thank you guys both so much. We wish you the best of luck with your productions, even though we know you won't need it because you're both so talented, and we're just very happy to have had you. So thank you so much. Hope to see you guys soon.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
So next we have Sabrina and Antreise.
Hi, boys.
Hello. Good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So Sabrina and Antreise are two very dear friends to Director's Cut. Just wanted to state that beforehand, and we are very happy to have both of them back on the show. So, so that being said, how are you guys doing with your films and everything? Antreise, Sabrina, some amazing cuts and stuff have been shown in senior film, which is super exciting. How's that going now? How's editing?
Do you want to go?
I'll let Antreise go first.
Okay.
You go.
Okay.
Things have been going pretty good. You guys know Nerys is my editor. So just working out a schedule with her and giving the critiques and sending those back have definitely been like working for us. So we are on our 4th edit as of right now, and hopefully we are wrapping up. We will be wrapping up with the edit soon. So.
Oh, and here's a fantastic picture from your set with one of your main actors, which is super exciting. Could you give us a brief synopsis on your film?
Yeah, so my film is about my main character. Her name's Amory Knight. So she goes to therapy for the to get therapy on the recent death of her best friend who committed suicide. So the therapy session kind of takes place 3 months after the suicide. So the story is about her process of grief and her finally accepting and coming to terms that she couldn't do anything to stop her best friend from committing suicide. So that's pretty much what it's about.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds like a very emotional film. Very writing it, I could not imagine how going through that must have been. Directing it, just such a beautiful product too, from everything that we've seen. So I can't wait to see the next edit. Very exciting stuff, Antreise.
Thank you.
I actually can't wait. I can't wait to see any edit because I haven't seen anything since dailies. But it's all right. And Sabrina, how about your film?
It's coming pretty well. I can't complain. I'm doing most of it myself right now, so it's been kind of a trial and error kind of thing. But I'm really excited with the way that it's going to go and the kind of stuff that I can do with it on my own. That's one of our stills from our final scene. I'm pumped. It's going to be a long time coming to finish this up. Like, I know most of us in senior have been working on our scripts for at least a year, and it's something that we're all happy to be doing. And even if the world is in kind of chaos right now, I'm glad to be working on it. So,
yeah. And it's beautiful, by the way. Everything with the script and all the ideas, how everything comes together. I'm so excited to see the final edit. And
thanks, Neil.
Yeah. Oh, look, and this is the crew.
Yeah, crew photo.
Look,
we got everybody in there. And if there's a little tidbit, so I mean, my story is about 5 siblings, and one of them has just died, and this is the aftermath of her funeral. That's what the film is based around. The rest of the 4 siblings coming together after that. And the photo that you see, like in that shot in the very background, is the deceased sibling, and it's actually my sister, my still alive sister, but very much my sister. She looks so much like my actors, and it kind of made it more of an emotional connection for all of us. So it just felt right,
I can only imagine how that affected you directing it, because that's your actual sister, so that must have given you such a personal connection to the script when you were directing it, like actually on set, which is great.
Yeah, no, I took some time too, like even between takes and shots and everything like that, and I would sit in the living room and just kind of place myself where I would feel if that was actually happening, and just relate to my characters a little bit more. She's actually walking by right now, so but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful.
Dead girl.
Oh, hello.
Oh, it's like a ghost.
Yes, absolutely.
But so I'm excited to keep working on it.
Yeah, and
That's
so
great.
how has your process changed for both of you since we've begun social distancing, and I'm presuming you both have returned home and are no longer on campus?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit difficult because you definitely miss being in class and being on campus. So I definitely envisioned, like, as far as like my editing process, like being able to like sit with Nerys and like edit together and talk to her. But now we have to do everything like via Google Docs and email. So that's kind of been very sad because I know we're both personal people. So I know like we both definitely would have loved to like sit with each other and talk and discuss our edits and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's tough. I've been editing in the basement of my house in Kansas by myself. It's a good setup, and it's keeping me busy and doing everything. But I definitely feel like we all feel the loss of not being able to be on campus and finish this in the place that we thought that we'd be able to. Surrounded by our friends and our peers and colleagues and everything like that. But I still think that this is a time where we can still be strong in our creativity and move forward and make sure that things get done despite the craziness.
Yeah, absolutely. I can relate to that like so much because just getting something to edit on was so difficult in my case.
Can't even
And it's
imagine,
like,
dude.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah. Oh, Elizabeth says, Antreise the queen. Just wanted to add that.
Love her.
But yeah, it's just once you have a setup, it's like oh, and Donnie says the one woman Sabrina Zapata. It's so great to sort of get a flow going, because that's at least like a nice form of escapism, something that you can really put yourself into. So Antreise, like you're in a different time zone entirely. So
Yeah.
Editing for you must be an interesting conversation to have. I don't even know the time difference, but
It's 2 hours. I'm 2 hours behind.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, but I respect you guys so much for like going through this and like getting all this done. It's so wonderful to see like these amazing films being made. Now I'm so happy that you guys are both able to get principal photography done. Do you guys think you're gonna go for any pickups after the fact?
I know I'm good. I think I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope not either.
Yeah. Yeah, but super exciting, super great stuff, you guys. Just all across the
You
board.
too, kid. Your stuff has
you.
been great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And so since both of you were heavily involved in director's cut, do you guys have any final things you'd love to say to the audience, to, the people that you've been working with?
Tracey,
It's been
yeah.
incredible. Director's Cut is definitely a home. I've been a part of it since freshman year. I got to be where you guys were hosting, so I love it. Thank you guys for everything, honestly.
Yeah, same here. I was on for 2.5 years. It's been something that has been a constant in my life since I started at Hofstra as a junior. And I'm really grateful to everyone and to everything that I've done at this show. It's been nothing but blessings and excitement. So I'm really, really blessed to have been on.
Yeah,
All right, well,
and I have to say thank you to both of you, because Antreise, without you, I wouldn't have auditioned, and Sabrina, without you, I wouldn't have been a host. So thank you to both of you guys. You are incredible.
Love you.
All right. Bye, y'all.
All right, and
thank you.
now we are going to have Maurice join us.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Here she
Hi,
goes.
guys.
Oh, hello.
So obviously, like, we're coming to the end of our show, but I wanted to make sure that we kept Sabrina on a little bit longer, just because we got a couple of thank yous in order. Obviously, I gotta say it's kind of weird controlling everything and then also hopping onto the stream. So hi guys, what's happening?
Hi.
Hi. We're just having a great stream, thanks to you.
You're doing great.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you guys. Honestly, this year for Director's Cut has been absolutely amazing and strangely spectacular, all wrapped up into one. And this being our last episode of the semester, it's that time of the night to give a special shout out to all of our graduating seniors, of course, that have helped make this show possible. So to the seniors who've crewed this show time and time again, thank you so very much, because without you, this show wouldn't be possible. To Mike Grosso, for being the so talented co-host that he is, helping Spencer to lead the show in such a fun and great direction. To Dante and Eric Crom, who produced countless beautiful and hilarious packages for the show. To Alex Hirsch, our head editor, whose Premiere and After Effects skills have helped us tremendously to create stunning movie mashups and special effects. To Joyce Cedillo, our production manager, who's kept everyone in line for set builds and show nights, giving us some of the best crews that we could ever ask for. To Jeremy Dowling, our program director, and Sophie Cable, our general manager, whose constant love and support and amazing tech skills, might I add, have kept us going every single month with our show. And finally, don't cry, Sabrina.
Oh, God.
I want to be out of my co-producer, whose passion, creativity, drive, and love for the show has helped push the show beyond everyone's expectations, helping to make it as great as it is today. This girl, let me tell you, I think if I go like this, she's right below me. She has so much talent and love seeping out of her very soul, and it's contagious. So thank you so much for being the best co-producer, mentor, and friend that I could ever ask for. Looking at the time, it looks like we're almost out of time, so we'll be thanking the rest of our show's graduating seniors in the senior package on our social media next week. But for now, thank you so much for tuning into Director's Cut this semester. Another shout out to Dr. Gershon, David Henney, and Dean Lukashevitz for helping us to make this broadcast possible. But for now, I'll toss it over to Mike and Spencer to do a little wrap up.
All right.
Wow.
Thanks, nice.
Thank you guys so much. I'm getting kind of emotional being it's the last time on the show. Thank you guys so much. We love you all. We hope that you're well. We hope you're happy. We hope you're healthy. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
All right. I'm Spencer Fowler.
I'm Mike Grosso, and this is Director's Cut.
Bye all.
Bye.
Bye.